continue with the lifetime project, Work on Yourself. Yes, you know, sometimes in life you find yourself, feeling somehow or not aligning to the kind of the mood that you like to align with. But life so far has taught me that most of the time it's not about your feelings, it's not about your desires, it's not about you wanting to feel good, because it's not about your emotions. Simply because all these things that I'm mentioning now, they are the results, or they are the outcome of a good work that has been invested in yourself. So the mistake that most of us as people make it us wanting the results before depositing the work. So basically that's something that today I just want to touch on and deliberate on it a little bit. And I'm speaking like this, Mr. Accountant Property Guy, because a week ago, the past Sunday, we were at the Soweto Marathon, and believe in me, we planned for that marathon and we trained hard. And I remember vividly that day, the morning, because the race started at 5:30, and I knew very well that the weather prediction, it said it was going to be a very hot day. But I was confident and very much hopeful, and I still remember very well the night before we had the recording and promised that we'll report back. And the good thing is, like, here we are and we are going to report back. Accountant Property Guy, what I've learned again is that planning is good, and most of the time it doesn't mean that when you plan, or most of the time it doesn't mean when you have got target to achieve, it's not going to be automatic thing to achieve or to reach those targets. But the important thing is to set yourself in motion towards your plan, to set yourself in motion towards the very same goals that you want to achieve. And the good thing is, those goals sometimes can be achieved on first attempt, and sometimes the first attempt may not grant you those targets, may not grant you the results that you plan to achieve. Hence, that's why there was a statement that says failure doesn't exist, and failure, it only creeps in when someone gives up. Because failure, it's a decision, but success, again, one can also say that failure is an ingredient. It's one of the things, one of the tools that in the equation of success, you need to find it there. So meaning that if you want to be successful, meaning that if you want to attain certain goal on a clean slate, where there is no mistakes, where there is no shortfalls, where there is no disappointment, one can say, if you will want to be that kind of a person, chances are you may not attain or you may not achieve anything in life. Because most of the people that I know, Mr. Accountant Property Guy, including myself, some of the things, some of the journey that I've walked, some of the goals that I've achieved, believe in me, there has been setbacks. Believe in me, there have been some discouragement, because many times things don't go as we plan. And for instance, now let me just give an example, because we've planned for Soweto Marathon, we've trained hard, and it was our second attempt, where the first attempt we ran that marathon, finished it with exactly 4 hours 35 minutes. And we were aiming for sub 4, meaning that 3:59, something like that is what we were aiming for. But believe in me, in that day things didn't go as planned. I remember very well that when on the start, the plan was to say every 1 hour I need to clock 11 kilometers. And the first hour went 11 kilometers on target. I was happy, excited. Attempt the second hour, 2 hours on the dot, 22 kilometers clocked. I was very excited, feeling good. And I was in my heart telling myself that the third attempt, if I can be on target with the third attempt, because remember on that video I said the race normally start at kilometer 30, 25, some 28, 25, that's where the determination of the race start, whether you are going to achieve your target or not. And believe in me, that day I will say it was not my day, because I was almost towards reach my third hour, but on the 28th kilometer I started feeling the serious muscle pull cramps on my thighs. And believe in me, I've never find myself in that kind of predicament before. Fortunate enough, I was not alone. I was with my running partner, Mr. Mdiba, David Mdiba. So immediately after feeling that, I had to stop, because I knew those who know how to run, the muscle pull, once it can grab you and forces you to sit down, chances are you may not continue. Chances are it may be the end of the race. So immediately after feeling those things coming, I stopped and asked Mr. Mdiba to help me to stretch a little bit, because one of the lessons that I've learned, that the muscle pull are, if you want to deal with them, they need an ice, because as soon as they feel that ice, they are a little bit gonna pull back a little bit. So unfortunately, at the point where I was, the water point was still like 700 to 800 meters away. So I had to walk myself. After Mr. Mdiba stretched me, I released him to go, and then I had to walk myself until that water point, where I requested some ice that I had to pull. The good thing is, like, I don't know what do they call it. I had some, they call it a tide. I don't know, for the lack of better way to say tide. That's something that when you wear, it grabs you. So I was able to put those ice blocks so that, you know, it can help me with those muscle pull. From there, I continued with the race. And after, you know, actually I was given an example that some of you will know, if you were to take an ice and put it in your mouth, chances are you can only hold it for a minute or two. But the more you hold it for a while, even your mouth, you'll hear that you can't. It's an ice, I mean. So the same thing happened with me on my thighs, because after 10 minutes, I started feeling that the ice now, it was, the pain of the muscle pull was a little bit going down, subsiding, but now I had to take the pain of the ice, where, because I had an option of whether I quit, or an option that if I'm going to finish this marathon, one has to come up with a plan, one has to deal with the control damage. And on that day, it was the pain of the ice. Believe in me, it was not an easy. And again, because I knew very well that the sun, it was going to be scorching on that day, so I had to deal with the pain of the ice, the pain of the ice. But as I've indicated this morning, that sometimes in life, you don't, the fulfillment or the rewards or the results of what sometimes, the results that makes us to feel good, sometimes they come after a serious work has been put in, after a serious deposit, a sacrifice. So I remember I had, because in my determination, I told myself that I think in each and every race, ever since I started running, my rule number one is to say, we'll always finish what we've started. We'll always finish all our marathon unless, and I'm saying unless we find ourselves in a predicament that is life-threatening. But in the absence of a predicament that is not life-threatening, if it is pain, I told myself that I'm going to train myself that pain is something that can be endured. Pain is something that one can learn, and because it is out of pain that we grow, it is out of pain that we mature, it is out of pain that we tap into a new world that we've never been before. It is out of pain that we transition from being mediocre, from being mild to being a tough person. It is out of pain that sometimes teaches your mind, teaches your subconscious that sometimes life is not gonna come on a silver platter. You will find yourself having to push harder more than everyone. And hence, that's why many times we know that if you will find yourself in a place where it's overcrowded, chances that there won't be any opportunities. But for you to be at a level where there is opportunities, and that level many times is the level where, you know, to be qualified to be there many times, it means that you'll have to be a go-getter. You'll have to be someone who will push beyond the pain, push beyond the forces that are pulling you down, push beyond your feeling, push beyond your emotion, you know. So this, the very same story that I'm talking about, remember, I'm saying it's work on self project. And I also want to say that, you know, in conclusion of this episode, the lesson learned out of this is that, yes, a content property guy, you've planned. Yes, a content property guy, you had that feeling that, you know, of you going to get that record, but it didn't happen. And the good thing that we appreciate about you, a content property guy, is that, number one, the accountability. I know sometimes you may take it for granted. It's easy if you didn't achieve the targets, you even shy, or you are even scared to come and report, give a feedback. I'm saying, yes, we planned for sub 4, it didn't happen, but considering the challenges that we came across, the plan, the endurance, the perseverance, the determination that we took out of that marathon, for me, that's what excites me. Because every day I tell people, and also I tell myself more than the people, that running to me it's not the real thing. Every time when I run, it's more than running. The experience that I come across, you know, the challenges, how I respond to it, the endurance, dealing with the hardships, it's what makes me, it's what fulfills me at the end of the race. Because every time when I finish the race, believe in me, I'm not excited. What excites me the most is not the medal that I get, but, you know, the reflection of the journey. You know, the process along the journey, the time that we spent on the journey, it's what excites me. It's what tells me whether am I growing. It's what tells me whether am I really still on the right track of being the best version of myself. And I can tell you, I'm celebrating out of that marathon because, number one, we have improved in terms of the record. Last time, our first attempt, we had 4 hours 35 minutes, and on this race or the marathon that we had 4 hours 31 minutes. It is a 4 minutes improvement, and one should not take lightly that kind of improvement. Believe in me, if you can ask people, those who run, they will tell you that when you are finished, a 1 minute run can easily be compared like a 1 hour run. So those who run marathons, they will tell you about that. So all I'm in conclusion is to say, as we work on ourselves, please, Mr. Content Property Guy, remember that there will be setbacks. Remember, there will be certain situations that will throw you off, will try to push you not to finish what you have started. But at the end of the day, remember that it's not all about that door. So principle is to say we'll always finish what we've started unless it is a life-threatening issue. We'll always come back to account, keep results. That is principle number 2. No matter what, we'll do that. And then principle number 3, we will always, Mr. Accountant Property Guy, remind ourselves that when targets are not achieved, that we should never define it as a failure. We should, because failure, like I'm saying, it's when we decided to quit. If we didn't finish the marathon, we could say, yes, we failed. But the fact that we persevered, all the challenges that we came across on the marathon, for me, believe me, is a success. And the fact that we've improved compared to the last time that we ran same marathon, believe in me, that is a tick. And it's an improvement. It means that we're going forward. But that, again, is not one of our biggest achievement. All I will say is a work in progress, because the ultimate goal was to have sub 4. And believe in me, we are going to keep on attempting for that. And with time, and with hard work, and with determination, and with the consistent of working on self, believe in me, hopefully after even the same next coming marathon, we're still gonna aim for it. And if we are not going to achieve it, the time should continue improving. And that's how we conquer this life. So Accountant Property Guy, watch out. And let's keep on working on ourselves, because this thing is a lifetime project, remember. Cheers, I'm out.